Welcome. Imagine for a moment your daughter tells you she plans on marrying someone she just met without knowing anything about. Would you tell her that the importance of getting to know someone before making such a big commitment? But that is exactly what people are doing when they make decisions on a political process. Who and what we vote for has a major impact on our lives, and it is a commitment we must be prepared to live with. Who is more capable of choosing an individual to represent ourselves than ourselves? Me, I have many years of experiences in voting, and Christian has academic familiarity. We would like to take the next few moments to discuss the importance of the political awareness and engagement that as it appeals to health and safety, as well to cover how one might employ resources to become more politically versed. When you choose not to vote, you lose your voice in the political process. According to Lauren Devon Wilkie of the Huffington Post, because to not vote is to not have a hand in who gets those informed powers. No influence in choosing who might be better choice, even if in your mind they are the lesser of two evils. Whether you vote or not, someone will be elected, and that person will be your president, making decisions that affect you and this country for many years to come. Individuals believe that their vote doesn't matter, or that no candidate is up to the job. According to Scott Clement of the Washington Post, 36% of voters voted in 2014. Some decisions we simply don't want to make, but not making an informed decision when it comes to our future can have great consequences. You must be heard. It may be hard to imagine these decisions can affect you in the real world. As a college student, consider this. If you receive any sort of federal funded student aid, your future is in the hands of the elected officials. Choosing officials who don't support federal funding for higher education could easily reduce the funding and leave you searching for ways to pay for school. You can be sure the main man in the White House has your safety and security in mind if you do not understand where he stands on these issues. The answer is you cannot.
And for that matter, the man in the Oval Office is not the only important elected official that you should take notice of. There are also senators, governors, and even mayors that should warrant just as much of your attention. So what is a politically conscious individual in our society to do? Media is a tool that, in the hands of the savvy, is much more than a place to catch up with people you don't care about posting pictures that you don't want to see. You can also find news, and you can find honest news. The beauty of the world today is that there are many available viewpoints towards goings-on, which give the individual many views from which they can draw upon. In order to become aware, you must be educated, and that means going to the sources of the information, whether that be television, internet, printed sources, or the radio. We believe that an informed population is more likely to participate, even if it only means choosing the lesser of two evils, as Mr. Carey mentioned, which is how many see the political process. The biggest expense of educating yourself is the time needed to hunt down the truth, followed by the cross-examination needed to verify the truth critically. In a 2013 poll by Gallup conducted between June 20th and 24th, titled Where Americans Turn for News, of the 2,048 interviewed, only 55% of people stated that their primary source of news is the television, with only 26% of that 55% non-specified as to a chosen source, meaning that they go to multiple news sources for their world affairs. This implies that the larger half, the other 29%, relies solely upon a singular source, whether it be CNN, BBS, what have you. We think that this cannot stand, because we believe that knowledge is just as well defined by what it is as what it is not. It should come as no surprise then that the biggest part of education is resource management. In an article by the League of Women Voters in Fund titled How to Judge a Candidate, accessed November 9th, 2015, The step directly following the establishment of a personal criteria for a candidate is to put together a sort of library about all of the candidates, where you collect all relevant information. I mean all relevant information. They go on to list a plethora of sources, but I think it's noteworthy that they center on the all information. You can't just cherry pick where you get your ideas from. So get out there and do research. Get educated. But why, when it's such a complex and seemingly corrupt game system? Simply put, because the alternatives are concepts that I believe none of us would enjoy entertaining. We have rights, but we also have tools by which we maintain those rights and upkeep them. Harlan Ellison once said that you are not entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your informed opinion. No one is entitled to be ignorant. And I believe this statement sufficiently describes how we should act toward the political climate. If we remain uneducated to the very real system that affects all of us equally, our world will not be ours to shape. But we know that being informed is necessary, or else we would all be married to strangers, as Mr. Carey had described. We learn, or we sacrifice. Because imagine the election of a candidate by the aforementioned 36%, where only a minority of that percentage of them had done their homework. Does this representative fully represent the will of the people? We believe not. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we are superheroes before the call to action imbued with inalienable rights we do not fully understand, afforded to us by the laws of our country, and we are thus responsible for our deeds wrought from those civil liberties. We must then pay attention when political or potential leaders speak, and verify the words that are spoken. We must look in the direction that they point, and ask ourselves, is that the way of progress? Watch news stations, read articles, keep on top of the debates, and form opinions about all these things, so that just as we look on and see the figures of government led astray despite their duty to us as the people, know that it is by our word that they speak, and by our hand that they lead. That is only true, of course, if we continue to speak, continue to vote intelligently, and continue to bear the responsibility of being members of a nation that continues to listen to our grievances. As for Mr. Carey and I'm sure you could guess where we'll be on voting day. We hope to see you there. Thank you.